Hi friends and new friends, I'm Christopher Carruthers, also known as Tao of Satoshi. In my last video, which you can view here, I talked with Felix Mago about the upcoming Dash integration into Stakehound and Renbridge. If you haven't seen it, I recommend watching it before you come back and watch this one. Today, in this second part of 2, Felix joins me again for a demonstration of DeFi and the possibility of things that you can do once you're in the ecosystem. Make sure you're well rested before you watch this one, because you'll need your brain power. Coming up on this episode of Cash Alternative TV. So what is Cash Alternative TV, other than that catchy jingle? Well, it's a show about cryptocurrency with a focus on Dash, which aims to be a digital cash for the world, or an alternative to cash. If that's something that interests you, you want to learn more about Dash, or just want to hang out with me some more, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss an episode. Now into the topic of today's show. Are you ready for this? All right then, let's get into it. So welcome back to our show. We're talking all about DeFi, and we're going to give you a quick introduction to DeFi thanks to Felix Mago. If you haven't watched the first episode where we were talking all about Stakehound and renDash, I'm going to leave the link in the description and you can check it out. So welcome back to the show, Felix. It looks like we're going to have a good introduction to DeFi here, aren't we?
Hey, Christopher, great to be back again. Yeah, this is what we want to do because I'm super happy we're doing this. We get so many questions about DeFi, and I mean, my first question to you is, did you ever use any DeFi product?
Yes, I have used the DeFi. There's a lot of people are controversial about this, but I actually am into Hex. It's a blockchain CD that offers high yield and has some interesting game theory that protects against price devaluation. And I'm really interested in seeing more about other projects, though. I'm really interested in this whole DeFi space because it's going bananas. So I'm happy to have you on the show here for you to give Dashers a bit of an introduction on what it's all about.
Awesome. Thanks for the opportunity. So should we start right away? Should I begin right away?
Yeah, I mean, there's not really much I can contribute to this, so I'll kind of just let you take over and run the show from here.
Okay, cool. So let me start, give a little intro, why I think one perspective I think is always easy to understand is kind of the change from centralized exchanges to decentralized exchanges and why that matter and why it's actually a cool thing for users. And I think there's a lot of reasons why users kind of going into that more and more. So what you see here is kind of what you always used to, is the BTC USDT trading pair on Binance. And I think this is something everybody of us knows. It's kind of an order book, and you see people who want to buy and people who want to sell, and the sellers obviously always want a higher price than the people who want to buy. They are looking for a cheap price, and in the middle there, or on one of these offers is where the actual price is happening, right? So if you swap something, you always have these order books, and by doing that, by exchanging, in this case, BTC to USDT, Binance gets a profit or whatever other centralized exchange it is. So here, now comes Uniswap, and now come other exchanges. In Uniswap, you have a pretty simple interface. You see you have no order book whatsoever. The only thing you do is you choose a token. You say, I want to swap ETH to Aave, and here we go. You connect your wallet. You can do the swap right away. And in fact, it doesn't even matter what you want to exchange. You don't have to look for a specific trading pair like you are used to on a centralized exchange. All you have to do is choose whatever you want to exchange. And here, one ETH is available for $1,603 US at this point, right? And just to give you a little picture of how all this stuff has been taking off, I showed to you on what is happening on the Binance Smart Chain. This is the DeFi station where you can see a lot of projects on the Binance Smart Chain. So in all these things, there is a lot of money right now. In Ethereum, that was around $40 billion recently. I didn't check today how much it is. We can see that on Defi Pools. In fact, we see the total value locked in Ethereum right now. which is at $40 billion. So we were already here at $45 billion. And you can see how Smart Chain, Binance Smart Chain is right now taking off and bringing in money.
Wow. So could you go a little bit into how a decentralized exchange works? Like if I'm going to buy a USDT with Ethereum, how does that work and where's the money going?
Yeah, happy to do that. So again, the liquidity on any centralized exchange would be the order sizes in the order book and the order depth in these order book, right? So if you have a liquid exchange pair or a liquid pair like BTC, USDT, you have a lot of orders, right? But if you go like some rather unknown coins or some very exotic trading pairs, usually you will have not much liquidity. As you can see here, you don't have an order book. So what basically happens in the background? What happens in the background is that people can provide liquidity to certain pairs. And you can see that, for example, on Uniswap info or equivalent for PancakeSwap on Binance Smart Chain on PancakeSwap.info. So, and here we are choosing the pairs to see what is in these liquidity pools. So as we can see here, the highest liquidity of all has the trading pair WBTC to ETH with $377 million. And based on that liquidity, people traded in this liquidity pool for $38 million in the last 24 hours or $260 million in the last 7 days. And just from that, again, what Binance would earn as a company is generated here in fees. And these fees, and this is now the kind of mind-blowing thing and why this is taking off so much, these fees are distributed to the people who provide liquidity into this pair, right? And as you can see, there is a lot of liquidity. I think we recently checked and we're around 15 to 20% for all these top 50 pairs APR that you receive when you kind of provide liquidity into these pools.
Oh. Okay, so if I'm going to put 1 ETH into the pool and I'm taking out 1,600, I'm giving you 1,600 USDT and I'm taking 1 ETH to the pool. So how does that affect the price in that little pool? So I'm taking away an ETH and I'm putting in USDT. So how does that affect the price? Do you know? Yeah.
Let me show you with PancakeSwap. So we can do that all on Ethereum, but Ethereum right now is a very expensive thing to use. So just for the purposes of this demo, let me switch to Binance Smart Chain because there we can kind of do transactions with just a couple of cents. They are growing. This is exactly what we saw here, right? We see here that was on February. We just had like $300 million. We are at 9.8 billion. So yes, you can say they are growing quite a bit right now. Okay, so here we can go to the exchange, more or less the same like on Uniswap with PancakeSwap, and we can swap whatever pair we want to another pair. But also now in order to swap it, in the background is this liquidity pools. And it's again the same what we saw on Binance Smart Chain. We see this here with the liquidity pools. The biggest right now is Cake, WBNB and WBNB BUSD. These are kind of the biggest right now. So now we can provide liquidity into any of these pools. But before we do that, let us see why should you do it and what you have from it. Number one is what we saw here already. We will get a part of that fees. But this is just one thing. And actually now comes the exciting part, and this is why everybody is running after yields right now in DeFi. Now you have a lot of different incentive programs essentially out there of platforms that want to kickstart their liquidity and kickstart their token and ensure that there is a healthy liquidity to swap whatever they want to whatever they want without a big slippage. And for that, you kind of have now a lot of different farms and yield opportunities. So what we see here is the incentive you get if you provide your liquidity pool token, and we will see in a minute what that is, into a specific trading pair. So let us do an example today. One thing is very important to mention, by the way, I didn't say that yet. In order to participate on any DeFi, you have to connect your MetaMask or whatever other Web3 wallet, for example, Trust wallet, into that, and I prepared your account. It's a little buggy thing sometimes. It's not 0.2 ETH, but it's 0.2 BNB, because we're here on the Binance Smart Chain, where you can essentially switch back and forth very easy between Ethereum and the Binance Smart Chain.
Yeah, I use MetaMask myself, and but there are some other ones. Like if you don't have to depend just on MetaMask, but I think MetaMask is the most popular one, right? But you have a couple of other options.
Absolutely, exactly.
Yeah.
Trust wallet, I think, is the most common option. But it's important to note, this is a Web3 wallet. It's your wallet, and it connects to these sites whenever you need it. And there should be always a button, and you see it here. Is it connected? And right now we have prepared 300 USD for this demo and 2 BNB. Right. So now let's check out what can we do with this USDT. So let me search USDT. Here is an interesting pool. It's not much, but actually, getting 20%, 21.07% on a stable coin is actually not so bad, right? So in order to do this, we have to unlock our wallet. And we have to enable to be part of that, to be able to provide liquidity into this pool. So we sign the transaction, it's 16 cents. And now we wait a short moment, and we will see here a new button appearing that
I wish Ethereum fees were 16 cents. That would be nice.
Yeah, but there is, it's just too high. This is the exact reason why so many users are switching away. I wouldn't say Ethereum is dead because of that, but you see that this usage really leads to a lot of congestion. And as a side note, we are right now together with Incubator exploring possibilities. How can Ethereum users essentially, can they do anything with Dash that will make their life easier? One idea we had already was saying, why don't you use decentralized storage? But for that, obviously, we need kind of bridges to be built. So I think there's a lot of opportunities to discuss. But
yeah, a lot of potential for sure. It just it might take a while to build it.
Yeah, and it's probably another conversation. Let me go back to this, not to lose the flow here. Let me go back to this. So what we wanted to do, we said we have USDT in our wallet, and right now it's boring because it's just sitting in my wallet and it doesn't do anything. So the new thing, and I think this is why DeFi has taken off so much, is that coins can do stuff. They can go out and make babies for you, essentially. So this is why everybody is right now so hyped about it. And every asset that is just laying in your wallet, doesn't do anything, it's not optimally invested, let's say, right? Especially if you are long on an asset and you want to hold it, right? So we can see, okay, we can get 21%. So what do we have to do? We have to stake LP. What does that mean? We have to have a token called USDT BUSD LP. So where do we get it? We get it if we provide liquidity. So again, this is the exchange. People can swap whatever they want. In this case, we say now we have USDT and BUSD. So we can exchange that, right? 1-to-1 or almost 1-to-1. We get a little discount or a little bad price here. Probably sometimes the price is even slightly better, if you go to Binance, but usually it's not that much. So we want to have this LP token. So this is why we go here on provide liquidity, and now we can add liquidity. We want to add USDT and we want to add BUSD. Okay, but in order to do that, we actually need both assets. And as you can see here in my wallet, I have only one of them.
Okay.
I have only USDT, right? So I want to put 300 USDT. In order to do that, I need an additional 300 BUSD. So, okay, let's provide only 150. Okay, 150 would work, but I don't have BUSD. So let us get some BUSD. We have USDT. We switch it to BUSD. And we said we will need 150. We have to approve. Another 12 cents here. Wait very quickly. Also, this is actually well done on Binance Smart Chain. I gotta say, it's already approved. And now we wait for the swap button to appear. It came up, so let's swap it. We see the price, a minimal price impact, and the liquidity provider fee of 30 cents. We swap that. Confirm. It's submitted. We can see it on the Binance Smart Chain if we want. And maybe also one interesting, or I will show you in 1 second. Hold on. I will do it live when we need it. Because sometimes there's so many confusing things, I gotta be honest. And you really, it's like learning to walk again in crypto if you start to use DeFi in some way and you end up watching a lot of YouTube videos because you're like, why is this happening? And what do I do now? Is my money lost or something stupid, right? So we just swapped the USDT to BUSD. But now, where is my BUSD, right? It's not here.
Yeah.
So what do I do? If I'm lucky, I will find it here. Yeah, but you don't even know, is it the right one or not? So what you can do is you go, in the case of Ethereum, you go to the Ethereum Explorer, or you go to the Binance Smart Chain Explorer, and you go here on tokens, BEP tokens, or you just search it, even more easy, BUSD. Here is the Binance Pact USDT, the BUSD. And here we see this is the contract address of this token. We can copy it. We can paste it in our wallet. Here on add a token, add a custom token, paste that address. Here we see it's BUSD. And here are my BUSD that I just swapped here on Pancake. So now we are ready to provide liquidity. Let's do it. Let's provide BUSD and USDT. So we provide this liquidity. Let's approve it again.
So you have to approve every like all the transactions between coins?
Yeah, it depends on the platform. It depends on the approval. You can give unlimited approval, and usually this will have now an unlimited approval. And sometimes you can restrict it. So now you can supply those tokens. Confirm supply. It's a lot of clicking, I admit, and it's a lot of waiting. But all these web pages have such a fantastic design that kind of makes my nerd heart smile very often, because many of them look like kind of a 90s computer game or some really funny design. Okay, now we got the token. Let's see, does it appear in our wallet or not? Here, it does appear in our wallet. This is the USDT. Here, this is the Cake LP token. So this is where it is the token we were originally looking for when we here go to our farm where we wanted to stake our coin. We search for USDT again.
Yeah, so I think a lot of people will be attracted to whatever makes it easy to do, like a more easier interface. Because we remember how the internet was in the 90s, it wasn't very clunky, it wasn't very user efficient, and now we got some things that are so easy to use. And I'm sure that's the same with this. It's going to get better over time when it comes to the user experience.
Yeah, absolutely. But the 90s were fun, I had
I guess it depends on your point of view.
And all stuff. It really depends, but yes, you're right. But things are getting easier, and I expect a lot of seamless transactions. We have in the last episode talked a little bit about FastPass and how we can integrate between the real world and this DeFi world. And there's a lot of possibilities. I think we can automate a lot of stuff, and there's endless possibilities to, at the end of the day, integrate into the into the real world. And I see more and more apps even coming up that kind of directly connect the bank account and enable you to go credit cards to DeFi in a second. That stuff is already happening, and I think it will take off quite soon.
Wow.
So now we can provide these LP tokens that we have now in our wallet, 147, okay. Let's confirm this transaction. And now we start earning. And what we will receive in order to do this, I told you guys before, we can check here on PancakeSwap for our trading pair BUSD USDT. Here we are, $26,000 was created based on that liquidity. So we get only a very tiny little share of that. But what Pancake is doing is incentivizing to put into this liquidity pool and earn another 20% we saw here before on our USDT. And we earn these 20% in their own token called Cake, right? And Cake, if you want to check coin market cap, really took off, same like Sushi or Uniswap did. So it's not bad to have some Cake token. And the real DeFi, what we call, the degenerate finance is, now you can do a lot of stuff with these Cake tokens. You can take your Cake tokens and restake them again. You saw here you have a lot of pools here, even on Pancake itself. They give you 120%, but there are other crazy platforms out there that give you, up to hundreds of percent for your Cake token. In fact, one of them we are looking right now is this one. I saw here they had Cake token here for providing Cake tokens. They give you 214.3%. So really crazy stuff. So now the question comes, what else can you do in DeFi? Obviously, this is nice. Yield farming is one thing, but this is really not where it stops. So one very prominent example here is Cream Finance, which is essentially a decentralized lending and borrowing platform. So what you can do here is you can provide, you can stake dollars or whatever you have, whatever asset you have, you will get interest rate to do that. And once you have staked something, you can take out something for an API. That means you stake something and you can get a loan. So for example, you stake your Bitcoin that you don't want to sell, you take out some USDT and you go out and do whatever you want to buy with your USDT. So there's a lot of stuff you can do with that. And I think already that is kind of mind blowing that you can have a completely decentralized loan market out there now that enables you not only to take loans, but essentially you can do a lot of crazy stuff now with it, and people start exploring crazy stuff. So you can for example put some BTC or some Dash you hopefully soon that you don't want to sell ever. You can take out a USDT loan and you can buy more Dash with it, and then you can stake more Dash, take out another USDT loan, and so on and so on.
Wow.
Right? So you can essentially leverage up your positions, which is, you want to do that or not, but you couldn't do it before. Okay, and maybe one other note, this is also stuff we know already. We have partners like Celsius, amazing stuff. You can put your money there. It might be okay. It might be a cool solution for many people. You can connect it with your bank account. You have a registered company, and so on and so on. But now we don't need Celsius anymore. We don't need any of these companies. We don't need Binance to swap and exchange from A to B. We don't have to register anywhere. We just need our Web3 wallet that integrates immediately into these protocols, and here we go. So this also leads to other possibilities. One I mentioned already is kind of a decentralized banking. So with all this and with creating copies of copies and putting your tokens here and create another tokens, and also to mention what we just did in PancakeSwap, we provided BUSD, we provided USDT. In return, we got a so-called LP token called BUSD USDT LP, right? But now you can imagine you have a second trading pair where if you you put BTC and ETH together, you get another NT token, then you have 2 tokens, and you can combine these tokens again. So you can kind of invent endless systems of stuff you do and stuff you want to do.
My head is spinning right now.
It's really hard to wrap your head around, but if I may, take an example from the real banking industry. What is happening there? And we've seen that in the financial crisis and in the world happening over and over. Banks are creating short assets. They're creating futures where you can go short. They're creating debts. Then you can issue, one bank can issue debt, another bank can issue debt. These debts can be combined, and so on and so on and so on. And sometimes the supply crisis happens, and stuff goes really, it really hits the fan. And we know all these financial products, and I think the way one thing DeFi is doing right now is really in the first step, and it's kind of obvious to recreate what we have in the financial industry. But obviously you can do that, but plus so much more, because now you can just create machines that do everything in a completely automated way. And that also means here with D-Banks, one example to with the vision to create your own decentralized bank, you can already do a lot of stuff. You can, for example, see, what can I invest in? What options are there? Where can I swap my tokens? What do I have in my different protocols? What is in my wallet? And so on and so on, right? And again, my vision obviously is that Dash can leverage here the existing merchant network, and that we can in the long run find integrations that not only are in this virtual DeFi space, but really go out to a restaurant and have kind of a restaurant incentive program or a point rewards program in here or something.
Wow, yeah, it's pretty much, if you can think about it, you can probably do it, right?
Yeah, exactly. And again, I'm so happy we are at this point where also Dash is ready. It's ready to be part of that. And with Dash platform, with Dash Incubator, leveraging Dash platform, there's a lot of stuff we can do, and I'm so excited to go out and help people to understand that, bring ideas in and work together with them to to create a lot of more ideas and to implement a lot of more ideas. Awesome. So one last example I want to show you is a trading bot. Also, this is something I just recently stumbled upon, which is now kind of one of the first decentralized trading bots. I think they don't show the charts here on Binance yet, but only on Ethereum. But here you can essentially program a bot that trades automatically on these decentralized exchanges, right? It is also kind of mind-blowing that you just connect something, you give them a little gas fee here, and here we go. Huh. So the very last thing I want to show is what happens with Dash, and we talked about renDash, sorry. Talked about renDash. So how are you able to get it? Obviously not yet, but hopefully very soon. For now, you can get on the Ren platform. You can get BTC, Bitcoin Cash, Doge, and Zcoin. You say to which blockchain you want to send it. Right now, there's Binance Smart Chain and Ethereum available. So let's say you want to convert 0.5 Bitcoin to Ren BTC. You would just connect your wallet. You would this one. You just connect your wallet, and this is your address, and here is your Bitcoin address where you have to send your 0.5 BTC, and they will send the 0.5 Ren BTC on the wallet you connected right here. So okay, that's it, and I hope that was people can see, start to wrap their head around it. I really have to say, it's really complicated stuff, and it's stuff I think you start to understand very easy when you try it. And I was reading about DeFi a long time before I tried it the first time, and I can only say I wish I would have done it before, because it's really much fun, and you learn a lot of how financial products work, how stuff is designed, and you immediately start to get new ideas what Dash can potentially do and how Dash can be part of that.
Yeah, it's. I think it's interesting because I can see why it's taken off so much, because there really is not a dull moment. There's so much you can do and so much that you can learn about and so much that you can explore. And if you're, like you say, if you're a degenerate gambler, you can put your money everywhere you want. It could probably get to a point where you lose track of what even all you have, because there's so many options. But yeah, that was a good demonstration. Thanks for that.
Thank you very much. Yeah, and there's so many things coming out. One last thing maybe to point out is one very mind-blowing idea from my perspective, and it started with YFI last year, which is essentially a robot that is maximizing yield for its users. So everybody can throw in certain coins, and YFI, or the equivalent on Binance Smart Chain, kind of goes out and farms these different protocols. Where can you get the highest yield? So we just saw we put our USDT actually for 20% with BUSD, but if you go on this platform, you can already get more, because they will multiply your rewards with their own token and so on and so on. So it's really endless. It's really exciting, and once you start, you most likely have a lot of fun exploring around.
Yeah, well, we'll certainly have to have you on the show again once this kind of goes through a little bit more and evolves a little bit more. And then when Dash is able to be put into the system, we can have another demonstration about that. So that would be sweet. And yeah, I'm happy to have you on the show. But is there any final thoughts you want to add before we wrap up the show for today?
I'm happy that we start. I'm really looking forward to Q2, when we hopefully will launch renDash and many more alternatives. Also check out Stakehound. I would be happy if people start registering and bringing in initial Dash so we can kickstart that. Because also one thing is what we saw on Uniswap here. You see these high liquidities. It's important to have some liquidity, because at the end of the day, nothing is worse than having a trading pair that you basically cannot trade, or when you trade a little bit, the price change will be a lot, right? And the way to prevent this is have a lot of liquidity. And obviously, I hope for an excited Dash community that is helping to kickstart everything, and we can, grow this baby together. And also for a lot of new users to come in with our incentive program. We're going to start again in Q2 with Ren, and with the staking rewards for a decentralized masternode, essentially, that stakedDash is providing. So a lot of cool opportunities here. Please check them out, and feel free to reach out to me on Twitter, Felix Mago _Dash, or on LinkedIn, Felix Mago, MAGO. Thank you.
Perfect. Thanks for coming on the show, Felix. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
Cheers. Well, I'd like to thank Felix for doing a bang-up job of introducing me to this new world. Now we wait for the stakedDash and renDash integrations so we can get involved as little or as much as we want to. In future videos, I will be revisiting the world of DeFi, so watch for that. Hopefully this was good for a little taste though. Well, that's it for me today. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and click the bell if you want to see more from me in Cash Alternative TV episodes. Until next time, remember, Dash is a digital alternative to cash, and it's becoming more so every day. Bye for now.